Did I want it to take 8 years? I wanted it to take less than 10, so I think I've done pretty well actually. My name's Paul Baverstock. I built myself a GT40 replica. It's a Southern GT40, so based on a Southern GT kit, for want of a better word. I've had the car on the road now 2 years, and it's taken me about 8 years to get to where I am now, so not exactly a short time. So I built the car in the garage as where I am now, so in amongst all the junk that is permanently in my garage, it's actually probably been thinned out a little bit for today if I'm completely honest, but there's plenty of room, so I'm pretty fortunate with that. When we bought the house it had a double garage and it was always the plan to build a car, so the garage just got extended and made bigger, and then the natural thing to follow that was to build the car. I always plan to document it on PistonHeads. It is on another forum as well, although not as up to date as the PistonHeads one. So it's quite nice. My previous car I had on PistonHeads too, so it was just seemed natural progression really to continue it. It's nice to get a bit of support from people, particularly when times are getting tough with it and things are going wrong, or it's nice to have a few positive comments to sort of keep me going on my way. So it's a Southern GT GT40 Mark 1B replica, the B being that it's got the single rear lights at the back as opposed to the twin lights on the earlier versions. It's a bit of a mismatch because it's got a Mark II nose on it as well, so all the nostrils, so it's a deep vent nostril, which slightly better cooling, but mainly because I prefer the look of it really. It's a space frame chassis made by, as I say, Southern GT. They're based down in Southampton. So I bought the chassis from them, the suspension predominantly from them, the panelling, the bits and pieces, everything that I needed I could buy from them, but I also went off-piste and bought my own bits and changed things to make it the car that I wanted. There is no instruction manual, so when people say is it a kit car, I sort of go, I don't know, possibly, maybe, but in my eyes probably not. It's, yes, you could buy all the parts from one place, but nothing just fits together. Everything needs quite a lot of work to make it work together. And as I say, I sourced parts from many different people, suppliers, manufacturers, to get the car that I wanted to, and to meet the budgets that I had to do it with. So the engine fitted in this car is a small block Ford V8. It's a 302, which has been stroked out to 347, so that's just a little bit under 6 litres, putting out 424 horsepower at the wheels. It's not typically the original engine that would have run in them. They ran slightly larger engines, I believe, in the originals, but I got this engine, it fits nicely, it goes nicely, it sounds fantastic, so more than happy with that. Into the car every time is pretty much like the first time for me. It's never particularly easy, it's never particularly graceful, and it's bloody scary, but I enjoy it. And from the very first drive, it's been a hell of an adventure really. Considering it's something I built, it actually handles pretty well, and I'm sure will exceed my talents many times over. Certainly an interesting car to drive because it's got a dogleg first gearbox, so that takes a bit of getting used to initially. And the gear change is, I suppose, arguably agricultural. It's pretty quick. It's not hard to find gears. The gears are easy to select, and it changes smoothly. But it's certainly not a modern car by any stretch. Power delivery is great though, and there's bags of torque. So it's literally a case of put your foot down and it goes. It's not often I get wide open throttle. It's certainly a sense of achievement having built it myself. It's something, when I started this 10 years ago nearly, it was almost still a dream, and I was never sure it was going to get to the end, but it was a great achievement and a very proud moment. So the livery is not your standard Golf racing blue, it's a much darker colour, it's the Golf corporate colours. So I based this on chassis number P1088 I think it is, which is actually a continuation car, so it's not even a real GT40, so I've replicated a fake one, as it were. But that's fine by me. I love the colours. They ran similar colours at Daytona on a couple of cars and things, so it's just a bit different. I didn't want to just do the traditional Gulf racing baby blue and orange. Yeah, without doubt, the trickiest part of the build was the wiring. Wiring is something I'm very confident with. I've worked in the electrical industry all my life. However, the loom was missing certain elements, or was inconsistent, shall we say, and that meant an awful lot of backtracking, redressing, replacing, repairing, adapting to get it how it should be for the final car. In hindsight, I would have started from scratch and done it myself, but easier to say now. I think the most satisfying part of the build for me was actually some of the earlier stages, which was the aluminium paneling, which I probably went a little bit OCD on, to spacing of rivets, to getting it looking right, to finishing it, making sure there's no sharp edges. And everyone said to me, but you won't even see it and you won't notice it at the end, and they were all right, because most of the stuff that I spent so long doing you can't see, but I know it's done right. So I think I really enjoyed that stage of it. I enjoyed the whole build, but that was something that I thought I would struggle with, and to a degree I did struggle with it sometimes, but actually it went a lot better than I was hoping, and yeah, it turned out really well. So it is a bespoke hand-built car. It's not a kit car built on something else. There is no bits of Ford Granada or an MR2 lurking underneath it. It is a fully bespoke racing car. If you'd like to read my build in full, click the link on the screen now, and whilst you're there, why not start your own one too?